far be it from me, to criticize someone else's parenting as a non-parent. But as it turns out, I actually have to share a society with the children that these people are raising. And so when someone does something that is absolutely disastrous, I'll feel comfortable to chime in. And this is one of those examples. If it's something I don't like, if it's something that bothers me, if it's something I'm not a huge fan of, I don't have kids. Who am I to critique these people, et cetera, et cetera. But when it's this bad, oh, just wait till you see this. Already, this is, I don't know how this could possibly be off to a worse start. I don't know how this could possibly be off to a worse start. This is ridiculous. No, hold on a second. No limitation to the screen. He has his own iPad and you don't limit his screen time. Literally, bright red text on screen. We have no interest in protecting our child. That's what that means. That's insanity. You know what kind of nonsense there is for your child to stumble upon over the internet? You know how many creeps are out there? Now, look, to be fair, they're not saying that they don't monitor his screen time, but they don't limit it either. And it's possible, I suppose, that they monitor it, but that's still a disaster. You're wiring this kid's brain to be incapable of engaging with reality. Dude, as an adult, I didn't get my first smartphone until I was 19, all right? And it's remarkable how quickly it consumed so much of my time and so much of my life. And I was already an adult at that point. Many of my habits were already formed. This kid is just not going to be able to stand a chance against the technology addiction. He eats whatever he likes. He is never forced to eat something he doesn't like. And if there's nothing he likes, we go buy him something he will eat. So I believe it was Aquinas who called picky eating the childish vice. You got to just make kids eat gross stuff sometimes, or things that they don't want to eat, or things they think are gross. Look, I hear you, I can be a bit of a picky eater sometimes. I think all like modern people are to some degree, because we're so used to eating foods that taste good to us at basically every meal, which is not something your average person had for basically the vast majority of human history. But still, I remember as a kid, when I was a youngin', if you didn't finish dinner, you weren't getting dessert, you were going to bed, you were going to your room, whatever it was. Now, this is not me saying that that's the perfect way of doing things. I have no idea what the perfect way of doing things is, okay? I don't, believe it or not. But I think letting a child decide what they're going to eat is probably not a great idea. I don't think that the palate of a toddler is the best guide to what foods should be consumed. No? But also, why? Why is is the next one gonna be him with a crack pipe and an unloaded gun that he only had for 11 days? We let him have a crack pipe with an unloaded gun for 11 days. It's not a threat to anybody. There's no ammo in it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If this gets clipped, that was a Hunter Biden reference from earlier in the show. All right. Okay. That etc. He is allowed to try and have candy, juice, soda, etc. That etc. is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. A lot of heavy lifting. What is etc.? What else? What else? Alcohol? What is etc.? I assume they're just referring to sugary things. I assume they're just referring to things that are bad for your health. In other ways, that's terrible. Again, at the risk of sounding like a boomer and explaining how things were, sorry, I'm a little bit tired. Instead of explaining how things were when I was his age, I'll just say this. When I was a lad, dude, I don't think we ever had soda around the house consistently till I think I was like 12 or 13 or something. When I was a kid, dude, it was like once a year you drank soda. It was a special occasion. And I'm glad for that, because that stuff's horrible for you. I've done enough. I've made enough bad health decisions at this point in my life If I was drinking soda at his age, I can't even imagine where I'd be. Ugh. I can't tell you about like co-sleeping contact. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Are you like letting him eat candy and jump on the bed while you try to sleep? What does that even look like with a child who you refuse to set boundaries with? If he wants something from the store, he will get what? This is insane. Like anything? You'll just buy him anything he asks for? Do you understand that you're not raising him for a world where he's going to get whatever he wants whenever he wants it? Is this a parent to people? He doesn't have a strict bedtime routine? I mean, same, but I'm an adult, and guess what? It's not good for me. It's not good for me. Look, my hours are all over the place. So there are some days I'm able to get to bed early. There's some days I'm up late working. There are some days where I'll be real with you. I just lack the discipline to get to bed on time. And you know what? Throws the whole next day off. You got to be. This is all right. I'm about to get up on my soapbox in a way which is completely inappropriate for a childless man, but just hear me out. Okay. We know that so much of a person's like habits and virtues are formed early on in life to the point where there are people who have said by the time you're 8, a lot of your virtue is set in stone. Now, of course, I'm not saying you can't change your habits past the age of 8. Obviously you can. But that the stuff that you pick up and are trained to do in early childhood when your brain is the most capable of adapting, that stuff's really important. It's why people talk about teaching your child a second language when they're young, because it's just easier. You learn things more easily at that stage. And what you're teaching this child is that they have no responsibilities or boundaries and that they can spend unlimited time on their iPad and eat whatever they want and they'll get whatever they want from the store. This is insane. I feel like this kid is going to grow up to be one of those people who you not only feel bad for, but who you have a really hard time feeling bad for because they're difficult to deal with. Why would someone do this to their own child? It's insane. He will not be made to do something if he does not want to do it. Yeah, like that'll prepare him for life. This is so funny because this sort of flowery left wing worldview that says, no, never expect your child to do anything and don't make rules for them. People are naturally good and will figure everything out on their own is actually the perfect mismatch for the kinds of environments left wing people created, where you have to be unbelievably hypersensitive to everyone else's concerns all the time. What they're literally teaching this kid is to only consider himself and not contend with the boundaries placed by other people. How do you think that ends? With him being a sensitive little SJW who doesn't say anything offensive about anyone else. Now, like, by the way, he might adopt that kind of a worldview to get away with certain other forms of insensitivity since it gives you a pass. But my point is, you're not setting him up to be the kind of person who I guarantee you your worldview tells you a man should be.